All right, guys, hope everybody's having a great day. We're going to be taking a look at what's going on in the markets here because they are reacting to the tariffs that are going to be taking place more likely on Tuesday here, as everything is set to basically kick off. And the markets are, so far, the Forex market is definitely reacting to this, specifically the Canadian dollar here really dropping below its 2003 lows here. Coming in, we haven't seen these numbers for the Canadian dollar since 1999 all the way to 2003. So very, very bearish overall for the Canadian dollar against its American counterpart. We're going to talk about a little bit about crypto, how that crypto space is reacting to the tariffs as well too. And we're going to be covering a lot of the news here and just explain what I think Trump is basically doing here overall, because I don't think it's in relating all to the Canadian and Mexico trade wars here. It's more than that. So we're going to discuss all that. Stick around till the end of the video. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So basically, Christine Freeland says Canada should basically target Elon Musk in the tariff fight. I don't think this is definitely a good idea and relates to going after Elon or specifically any companies in the United States in particular. Because at the end of the day, look, you're picking the fight with the wrong people. You only have a GDP close to or greater than the state of California and some of the states in the United States. So you don't want to be really picking any fights with companies that no longer can basically be investing in Canada. And it seems like over the past videos we've gone over, Canada's reliance on government banks, commercial banks specifically, has been a poor economic setup overall, without any innovation, without any entrepreneurship, and really stepping the gas on this idea that, look, we're going to go after these American companies is not so great overall. Now, again, this only will push Donald Trump more likely to basically further hike his tariffs, because he did come out saying that, look, if Canada retaliates, then more likely he's going to be increasing his tariff percentages. Now, this could be very bad overall for, again, Ontario, for all of parts of Canada, because we could see wide cross layoffs of more than 450,000 jobs being lost in all sorts of sectors in Canada here, whether it's goods or services. Now, do you really want to be providing, again, UBI checks styles to all of Ontario, right, and all of Canada, and increase inflation? This is only gonna basically exaggerate things a lot further, instead of coming to the negotiation table and saying, hey, what can we work out? Okay, you want us to basically secure the borders, that's fine, because that's what Trump wants. He wants a more secure border, and I don't think he's asking too much in particular. Instead of putting the cost of what these tariffs are going to be doing, they could be basically going towards and protecting the border, right? Spending billions of dollars in UBI checks when you can actually protect the border. It's not being fair in terms of these negotiations. I can see where Trump is coming out and saying, what you're doing doesn't make sense. And if there's any economy that can handle trade war, it is the United States of America. Canada and Mexico don't have a chance and relates to this. But again, I do believe there's a lot more going on to this than meets the eye. Again, I think it's more of the Fed, right? And he knows that this Canada-Mexico deal will eventually play out itself. But Trump is forcing the Fed's hand to basically lower interest rate with tariffs, knowing that there are two types of inflation, supply-driven and demand-driven. Now, we know that the Fed basically can control the demand-driven, so meaning the consumer spending habit. They can basically control that by raising rates. But supply-driven is very difficult to control, because the Fed doesn't have any tools in the shed to basically control any supply-driven type of inflation. So he did this in 2008 and it worked. This time he's aiming for lower rates and better North America trade deal. So it's all about the Fed. Trump demanded the current rates to come down. Now, I don't know how you can demand the rates to basically come down, because in the last couple of days leading into his inauguration, he stated that he wants rates to basically come down. Otherwise, his administration will be unsuccessful for the next year until actually Powell is out of the Fed in 2026. So more likely he will put someone that he trusts, because the American government can have influence on who sits at the head of the Fed table. So without lower rates, it will be difficult to cut the deficit and build America without federal tax. So of course, he's looking to abolish income tax, and knowing that, look, you have high rates, it's just basically not going to work out, and you're not going to be able to lower your deficit in relates to what he's been trying to do with his executive order, with Elon being the head of the Doge task force, right? Paying off some of that debt, cutting costs. So he won't be able to do that unless he lowers that interest rate in terms of cutting his deficit a lot quicker. Now, remember the last FOMC meeting that the Fed had in January, they came out a little bit more hawkish, and they're looking to basically stall rates, which is basically very problematic for Trump here, as the Fed only look to control key metrics like in their policy making, like demand, inflation, and unemployment. So as long as they see unemployment going up and inflation coming down, more likely they're going to be cutting rates. But again, what Trump is trying to do is trying to cause supply inflation. That way the Fed's hand is basically forced to lower rates, because look, if you have price increases going up because of supply, right? You knowing that, look, it's only going to hurt by keeping interest rates high. He's looking basically to force them to lower rates. Now, if any country can withstand a trade war, again, it's the U.S. Trump is taking a gamble that eventually will pay off with lower rates, negotiate a deal with Canada and Mexico, or even build a North American Union like the European Union, basically having one currency. So more likely it's going to work out, because it's going to have an effect on the Canadian dollar, more likely. And, it's working out so far. And if the Canadian dollar, again, continues to take a hit, and, job losses across the board, the Canadian government has no choice but to make some sort of deal with America. And I hate to say this, but, it's going to hurt a lot of people overall. And unfortunately, this is the incompetency of the Canadian government by retaliating instead of actually coming to the negotiation table and sorting out some deal, because they're going to be spending and printing a lot more in billions of dollars in stimulus checks and UBI checks, universal basic income, that will basically not help in the long run. It's only going to cause more inflation, when that capital can be going to basically securing the border, instead of causing these sour relationships with your trading partner that has been there for hundreds of years. With that being said, again, the crypto market has been basically taking a tumble. We can see that Bitcoin from the all-time high is basically down around 11%. And again, markets don't like tariffs, don't like trade wars, because again, it's not good for business. And more likely, Bitcoin here could be retesting the downside of $93,000 here. So definitely the crypto space can be taking a hit, and more likely altcoins also are going to take a harder hit, as people look to basically dump that and more likely get into stables or even get into Bitcoin in particular. Anyways, guys, that's basically what's going on here. I'm hoping that some sort of agreement can be reached. Again, Trump said that more likely he's not looking to remove them anytime soon, and I think this is his plan. His plan is to have the Fed in the next month or two lower rates and continue on from there. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Until next time, as always, stay positive and always diversify your portfolio.